That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
All right, hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. How's everyone doing? So yeah, today we're going to be continuing on that prototype I've been working on, that Necromancer / Alchemy card game auto battler thing. So, and I'm also going to be continuing work on using the AI agents to do the work. I've basically just been, for the past, I guess, well, over a day, maybe day and a half, I've basically just been, all the code I've been writing has been through the AI agent here through Cursor. So yeah, this is working really well. I've already made a bunch of changes this morning to some of the stuff. Most notably, I now have the ability to highlight cards on the enemy board for cards that affect the opposite board. So for instance, this bell here, this bell affects enemy minion cards. And so when I hover over that, it will highlight those cards on that board over there now. And it will say which ones it affects. And then of course, still have the highlighting for your own cards. So this Alembic here, this affects, well, it actually doesn't say how it affects things, but when you hover over it, it will show you what it highlights here. So yeah, so that's what I got going on. In this stream, I want to fix a couple of things. There's one issue, which is that the mouse hovering doesn't work very well. Like the mouse enter and exit signals for these area 2Ds, which is what the blue outlines here are, it's just not working well at all. And I'm not entirely sure why that is, but I'm gonna have the AI agent do something a little bit different and see. So anyway, before I get started, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for sale. So if you want to support my work, you can check that out. It's the first link in the description below. Here's the Steam page here. So definitely check that out, purchase it or wishlist it if you're interested. I'm sure it will go on sale at some point in the future. So you can keep that on your wish list if you're interested in getting it at a lower price. I also have Udemy courses available for sale. Those will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine. And so yeah, that's basically it. So check those things out below. I very much appreciate your support. Speaking of support, thank you so much, Snout Bill, for the IDR 20,000 super chat. Very much appreciate that. That's always generous. And of course, we have the message yummers. Thank you. Welcome back to the stream, by the way. Hello, Luca. Welcome back. Thank you, Polaris. I hope you have a nice day as well. Hello, Svens. Just finished your Survivors Udemy course today. Any plans on updating it? Godot is such a rapidly evolving engine that several parts of it feel very outdated, but it's still very good overall. Yeah. So time is a big issue for me. I basically only have till the end of the year. And if I'm going to update that course, I think the thing about that course is like, I don't know if I should re-record the entire thing or just do the sections that have changed. I probably should re-record the entire thing. So that's the tricky part about producing course content is there's no way to go in and like tweak things, you know, like the way you could with like a written tutorial. I have to basically just go and re-record the whole thing, which is very time consuming. But I definitely want to do that. I also want to update the platformer course, and I think the C# course is still fine for now, so yeah. Yeah, I think re-recording it is a way to go. But I think like that would take me like 4 weeks to do. So probably 2 weeks-ish to record all of the lessons again, and then another couple of weeks to edit all of them. Because what I do when I produce those courses is it's very intensive, but I record the lessons and then I edit the lessons basically immediately afterwards. I watch every single minute that I record and edit to make sure that the continuity is good and that I'm explaining things well and that I haven't left any gaps or that, you know, any mistakes or whatever. And that's very time consuming because I have to sit down and record the 15 or 20 minute lesson. Then I have to go and watch it all back while I'm editing it. And I have to do that for, you know, 20 hours of raw footage or whatever. So it's very time consuming, but it produces a great result. So, anyway, so let's get right into this here. Oops. Me been editing some video but had some quality drop. Do you have some tips in it? Do you have some tips? What do you mean by quality drop? Are you talking like the resolution or something? Or something else? Thank you for the... let's see. Justin says, hey, if I really just wanted to say I took your new C# course on Udemy specifically to not follow the C#. Oh, I use it to understand the code more and I learned so much from converting your code to GScript. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Thank you, Justin. Okay, so let's go ahead and go in here and I'm going to create a new chat. I'm starting to get the hang of doing this AI agent stuff. So I'm going to go to the card here. So in at card, I am constructing collision shapes and adding them to the clickable area 2D node for the purposes of detecting mouse inputs for drag and drop as well as mouse enter and exit signals. However, this is very flaky and not working well come up with an alternate approach to detecting these mouse events that is more reliable. Let's see what it does. And now I go back to the chat. So this is super cool. It understands that I'm creating, so in the card class here, so since cards are not always going to be rectangular, they're not always going to be for your grade school geometry class, they're not always going to be quadrilaterals. They are sometimes going to be like L-shaped. And so what I do is I create a rectangle shape. Oh, it just eliminated everything. All right. But what it does is, for the case of, I actually need to get rid of this. For the case of something like this, which is an L shape, it creates an 18 by 18 square here, and then an 18 by 18 square here, and an 18 by 18 square here. So basically, it looks at the cells that the card is occupying, and it puts a collision shape over those cells to detect mouse entering. However, it's not working well at all. So I'm going to see what this does. So it's using a single collision shape. How is it doing that? Single collision shape. A single collision shape will not work because cards are not guaranteed to be quadrilaterals. They can occupy any configuration of contiguous cells. Hello, MM. I meant like when I export auto for 144p might be figured out my... Oh yeah, I don't know what you're using to create your videos, but so what I do for my, here, I'll just tell you what I do for my recording. So for recording my screen and stuff, I'm using OBS, and I just record at high quality settings, make sure that it's set to the native resolution. So I'm doing 1440p resolution. So I record all that to a file, and then I bring that into DaVinci Resolve to edit it, and I just make sure that DaVinci Resolve has the proper bit rate and resolution set for YouTube. And there's actually a page in the Google Help forums about like what bit rates you should use for which resolutions and frame rate values. I think if you want to do 60 FPS at 1440p, which is what I do, you want to do a 20,000 bits per second. Is that right? 20,000 bits per second bit rate, or kilobits. No, it would be 20,000 kilobits per second bit rate. But you can look that up. But hopefully that gets you started. But yeah, you just want to make sure your resolutions match and that your raw footage is recorded in high enough quality, because if your raw footage is not good enough, then it doesn't matter what you render it out to. What AI model is being used here? This is Claude 3.7 Sonnet. Is this the new game dev assistant showed by Zenva? I don't know anything about Zenva. This is Cursor IDE with, I'm using Claude's 3.7 Sonnet for my agent. GD script versus C#, can you tell us some advantages and disadvantages? Sure. So let's see. Advantages of C# is, so there's a couple of advantages. One is you get the more object-oriented programming stuff with, you can compose classes from interfaces, you can have abstract classes for default implementations, you can do properly override methods and all that stuff. And then you get some of the secondary stuff like access to NuGet packages. So if you have specific functionality you need, you can pull in a NuGet package and use that. So for instance, when I made Gunforged, I used a NuGet package that was a Steam API wrapper, which allowed me to interact with the Steam API from C# without having to use like Godot Steam, which is a separate compiled version of the engine. GD script is much faster to write. It's built into the editor. It's I would say probably a little bit more readable because there's less going on. And there's certainly more examples. There's more GD script examples than C# examples out on the internet. What else? Yeah, you don't need to, have a C#. You don't need to have all the C# dependencies on your system to be able to build and all that stuff. So I think, yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, there is a limitation of C# too, that you can't do web exports in Godot 4, so that's something to keep in mind. Oh, you're doing animation. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, hopefully that helps you out. So let's see what this tried to do. So in the process method, okay, so it converted it to a process, which is basically what I wanted it to do anyway. So unhandled input is mouse over, is mouse can drag. Event input is mouse button. Let's use, for child and clickable area, get children if child is collision shape, set card stats. Oh, that's nice. This can use remove and queue free children though. Clickable area dot remove and queue free children. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Let's see. Shape dot position. I keep telling it not to add comments, but it keeps adding comments, so whatever. Calculate card bounds. What is it doing in here? If card stats occupied cells count, return new rect2. Okay, this I think can just be rect2.empty. Oh, it doesn't. Okay, never mind. I thought that was something. I thought there was a default rect2 implementation for like, oh no, there isn't. Okay. Must have hallucinated that. Min x, float.max value. These can use float.positive infinity. Okay, I suppose that works. Is point in card. So it's going to take a global point. It's going to convert that to local. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, it's going to take the mouse position. It's going to convert that to a local position. Then it's going to use to see if the card bounds has that point. If it does, then it's going to check each individual cell to see. Very nice. Okay. I'm liking this. On mouse entered, on mouse exited. I don't think that those things are necessary anymore. These signals, I want these up here. And let's see. I don't need the clickable area anymore, I don't think. I don't think I need the clickable area. Card occupied cells. Get card occupied cells. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so that's working. All right, so basically what this is going to do now is this is going to use that, it's going to check the mouse in the process method, but there's a couple of things that this did wrong that I want to address. So first, don't, so in here, what is that, 92? So in the highlighted section, don't check the mouse button events directly. Use is action just pressed in combination with action click left and action click right from at game constants. Making survivors, but with 3D art, clone of Deep Rock survivors. I'm having a ton of issues getting more than 100 enemies on the screen once I turn on physics and make them collide with each other. Any advice? So are you doing it in Godot, I'm assuming? So my understanding with those kinds of entities is that you actually need to hook into the physics server. Yeah, so I think the problem with having many enemies, first of all, you have to question whether you actually need that many enemies, because I think in Vampire Survivors and other Survivors games, what it does is that there can only be, I don't know, like 50 enemies at a time or whatever, and as they move off the screen they just get recycled. So let's say that you're moving to the top left corner of the screen and you leave some enemies behind. What will happen is that those enemies will just be teleported to a different side of the screen. So it looks like anywhere you go there are hordes of enemies, but really what's happening is it's just doing smoke and mirrors to make it seem like that's the case, but it's actually just moving the enemies that are off screen into your path where you're going to encounter them. So you may not need to have 100 enemies on screen to give the effect that there are like hordes of enemies if you do that trick. But if you do need to support that amount of enemies, I think what you need to do is hook into the physics and rendering servers directly instead of making them each individual nodes, which is not something that I did in the course. But let me see if I can find, I bookmarked a resource that explains how to do that to some degree in a 2D setting, but I think you might be able to reference it for a 3D setting as well. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I might have to search my bookmarks here. Show all bookmarks, search bookmarks. Yeah, I found it. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna link this in chat here. And then hopefully this reference helps you. Let me see if I can figure it out. Okay, so I just linked the blog post that goes over that strategy. Again, it's in 2D, but you might, there are like analogs for what you need to do. Oops, that's wrong. Switched my desktop. There are analogs for what you need to do for 3D, I think, so. All right. So let's see what this did. That's working. Don't add comments. How many times do I need to tell you? I'm just gonna go to my cursor settings here. See if that works. Okay, so what else happened here? This can be simplified by using rect2.expand. Oh, it uses merged instead. Okay. AI. It's like a petulant child. Hey, do it this way. And it's like, actually, I found a different way to do it. Whatever. Whatever, man. Okay. Is point in card. This looks good. This cell rect can be simplified to some extent. I think what I'll do is I'll just do new vector 2. I'll just write it myself. I will write it myself. This is gameutils.tilesize. Okay. And what else? So let's remove let's have it remove the clickable area. So remove anything related to the clickable area in this script, including any signal handlers. I mean, this stuff, I'm probably overusing this because I could make those edits myself, but I like watching the AI do it for me. All right, let's see. It added a comment. It got rid of those. That's great. Got rid of the clickable area. I'll just accept all. Let's see what it did. Got rid of the on mouse entered, on mouse exited. Is it emitting that signal anywhere? Oh, it is. Okay, perfect. So there's still comments in here. Or no, did it remove the comments? Or no, I removed the comment. Okay. Well, let's see if this works. So calculate card bounds, this being done in set card stats. This is much better. Okay, so this is going to work better, I think. So now in the process method, it's going to be checking constantly in the mouse position, which is, you know, it's not ideal because that means every card on the board is going to be ticking the process here, but it's like realistically, how many cards would you need to have in order for that to make a difference? So it's unfortunate, but you know, that's just how it goes. So let's see. So now I would do this. Excellent. Oh, but the mouse exited is never... This is never being... Okay, interesting. Those are always being highlighted. Why are those always being highlighted? Okay, it looks like there are some issues going on here, so... The mouse entered signal, or mouse exited signal works when I go this way, but it doesn't work when I go this way. Okay, why would that be happening? If not, is point and card and is mouse over, card mouse exited. Where is this being used? First of all, that shouldn't be there. Oh, maybe it should. No. Yeah. That's fine, I suppose. I think what's happening here is that this card mouse entered is being... Yeah, so I think what's happening is there's an order of operations issue here because this is going to be emitted first before this. Actually, is that right? How is the card highlight working? Handle card mouse exited, 4 card stats in currently highlighted cards. Set highlight to false, currently highlighted cards clear. Okay, let's do this. Create a new chat. Oops. For currently highlighted cards, let's change it from a list to a dictionary or some other mapping that relates the hovered card to the list of cards it is highlighting. So instead of just storing a list of highlighted cards, we're going to now make it so that it's mapped so that I know which card is responsible for highlighting which cards, and that should disambiguate anything that's happening so that when I when the card mouse exits, it will just clear those cards. Although, shoot, dang it. Now the problem is that this set highlight, oh dang. Okay. Shoot. Well, let's just see what happens. The problem is if I call set highlight, so if you move your mouse from one card to a different card and both cards highlight the same additional third card, I may be overriding the highlight state here, which is not good. Maybe I'll ask the AI to handle that too, but let's address whatever complaints it has here. I don't think Cursor is using my my instructions. Let's do this. Okay, so let me ask the AI about this. So let's go to L. The problem here is that a card exit handler may overwrite the highlight state of a card that needs to remain highlighted. What approach should I take to address this? It's amazing how well the AI understands the problem with just that short prompt. Look, the issue is that when a card's mouse exit handler runs, it might unhighlight cards that should remain highlighted due to other hovered cards. You need a reference counting approach to track which cards should remain highlighted. That's exactly the approach that I would take here. So, let's change to agent. Implement the reference counting approach. Do you find Cursor is better at C# than GDScript? I have not tried it with GDScript, so I honestly can't say. Though, I did work with Cursor to create a shader, the highlight shader that we're actually kind of working with right now. And it took me a couple iterations, but it wrote correct GLSL, Godot shading language code, based on my prompting. And I expect that there's a lot fewer examples of GLSL code out there than GDScript code. And so if it can pretty easily write a shader in a shading language that's not quite a real shading language, in other words, it's not like OpenGL or anything directly. I think that's what the shading language would be, OpenGL. Or GL, no. What am I talking about? Anyway, Godot's shading language is like very similar, but not exactly equal to a different shading language that's very common. And it was still able to figure that out. So I imagine it would be fine with GDScript. Hello, cool guy. Is this a different game from the top-down multiplayer game last time? It is, yeah. Yeah, this is a single-player game, card-based kind of strategy game, auto-battler thing. I'll actually explain it in a second here to anyone that's new. Let me just make sure that this did correctly. So it's going to try to get that value for, it's going to get the ref count. It's going to subtract 1 from it. Sweet. Okay. I don't like how it does this. All right, let's run it. Let's see what happens. That's so cool. That is so cool. So one other thing that I probably want to do for the highlighting, let me just make sure this still works. I didn't make really any changes to this system, but let me make sure that, especially this turn cooldown. Nice, it's working perfectly. And I think the alembic is working as well. Let me just double check that. Sweet. Okay, so I'll just leave this screen up and I'll explain quickly what's going on here. So this game is like a necromancer themed inventory management auto battler kind of deal, where you have your grid and you can place your cards down on the grid. And the idea is that you have to place the cards in an optimal way to beat the enemy, to kill the enemy faster than they kill you. And the way that you do that is that each card has a certain ability or certain abilities associated with it. So I can right click this alembic here and it says that it takes 7 turns to complete, and a turn is just an arbitrary unit of time. I'm going to enable the game to speed up, but a turn is just like a tick, right? So like the game runs at a tick rate, which you can change in the settings. That's all, you know, further down the line, but you can see that this consumes turn progress and applies 1 poison per turn consumed. And then it gives you a description and says what poison does. And if I right click on the skeleton, it says 3 turns, deals 2 damage, and damage is just physical damage. And so the idea is that you have to organize your board such that you are maximizing its damage potential by leveraging the different bonuses. So for instance, the alembic, it's not quite clear on this card, but this only affects cards that are in the column or in the row of the alembic. So it will not affect anything that's like in the middle. And so that kind of is a constraint on how you can place the alembic to get maximal use out of it, right? Whereas the bell here, this doesn't have any sort of positioning requirements because all it does is it targets an enemy minion. So you can kind of throw this anywhere you want. I also have, like for instance, an incense ability, which reduces the cooldown remaining of adjacent minions by 1. So anyway, obviously I'm still in the process of building a lot of these things, but there are tags like this is an alchemical thing, this is a ritual thing, this is a minion, and different cards can affect different things with different tags. And so it's kind of like Backpack Heroes in that you want to maximize your board's damage potential. But I think the twist of this game is the theme, number 1, but number 2 is I'm going to have an alchemy system. And the alchemy system is going to allow you to merge 2 different cards together to get properties from both of them. So that means that you could create a card that's super powerful that isn't available in the default game. So my intention behind this is I'm not just going to design a bunch of items by hand and then those are the items that you get. I am going to design items by hand such that they have a base like default behavior, but then the entire point of the game is that as you progress through the game in like the roguelike formula, you will be able to enhance and augment all of your cards. You might be able to add a new random ability to a card that typically doesn't have that ability, right? So you might get a skeleton that provides an adjacency bonus to other minions, right? And that's going to change how you use that skeleton, right? Or you might get an alembic that all of a sudden gains the ability to do like 10 damage when it turn ticks, right? So I don't have that many examples to give you right now because I haven't added that many abilities to the game yet, but I think you can see how that could be really fun. Is like you start with these base sort of minimally defined cards, and then as you play the game, you build up your cards with different properties to really buff it. And then of course, there will be the ability to grow the grid as the game continues, and so you'll have even more power just by the nature of having more cards on the board. So that's the idea. I think it's going to be a super fun, super chill game. There's lots of design potential here, and it's relatively easy to make as well, which I like because I'm on a time crunch. So yeah, I like it. I think it's great. These highlights are not going away for some reason, so I'll have to fix that. I'm impressed how popular auto battlers are in 2025. Yeah, for sure. Hello, Niren. Hope I said that correctly. Totally off-topic question, but what exactly prompted you to show us the full process of refactoring the code as you made the C# game in Udemy? I do appreciate it by surprise. I mean, that was just intentional. That was just the entire idea behind the Udemy courses that I make is I want to show you like what making a game actually looks like from start to finish, because what a lot of tutorials do, and I don't blame them, but what a lot of tutorials do is they just say, here's how you write the code, there's your finished game, right? But what I was trying to show with my Udemy courses is like, this is what making a game should actually feel like. Like when you start with a blank canvas, how do you actually build up the systems that you need for your game, right? So instead of just immediately jumping into, here's the finished script, right? It's like, let's see how the script organically develops over time, and then that gives me opportunities to explain why we're breaking things up and why we're refactoring things into different pieces and when to do that refactoring, right? And those are things that are valuable to learn as well. So yeah, that was very intentional on my part to show you like what the real process actually looks like. I haven't played the inventory management genre yet, but it looks interesting to play. Thank you. Yeah, I think it will be. I didn't really like Backpack Hero that much. I played it a little bit, but I was playing The Bazaar, and The Bazaar was really the game that kind of inspired me to want to make a game like it, because I just liked how the combat and the items worked a lot. And there are things in The Bazaar, like you can enchant items in The Bazaar. And there was one run where I got like a ridiculous like sniper rifle that just did like 4,000 damage on hit. It was ridiculous, but so yeah, that was kind of the main inspiration for this game. And like I said, it's easy to make, so it's going to be less effort, which means less time, which means that I have more opportunities to make money before my budget goes dry. So you know how it goes. So there's still a problem here, but I think I like how this works. So rework card mouse detection. What's the time crunch about? Well, right now I'm working full-time as an indie game developer / course instructor, and my budget projections have me running out of money shortly into next year. So realistically, I basically need to be finished by the end of this year. And then whatever budget I have remaining will just be used to sustain me while I try to find a different job. But the idea is that I don't want that to be the case. I want to make more money so I can continue doing this, right? That makes a lot of sense. I've always been scared of the idea of dirty code and unrefactored code, but as I go through the vids, I feel more confident in what I'm learning. Yeah, you shouldn't be afraid to do things dirty at first, especially when you're figuring things out. And then once the code once it becomes clear what you need out of the code, then it becomes much easier to refactor it. Have you played God of Weapons? The inventory management was neat there. I have not. I'm going to look that up. Thank you for calling that out. Sorry, my phone is blowing up today for some reason. Okay. So one problem in here is that I want to allow highlighting of the cards even while the game is running. So let's see. Is drag enabled? So I think actually that would probably be I think I can just remove that condition, honestly. I'm not even going to ask the AI to do that one. I'm smart enough for that one. I'm smart enough for that one, I think. I don't know. Maybe you disagree. So now, while the game is running, I should still be able to highlight these things. Now, one thing that's bothering me about this is that the turn counter kind of blends in with the... kind of blends in with the highlight, which is kind of going against the sort of style of the game. So I'm gonna fix that later, I guess. But the important thing is now I can highlight things. While the game is running. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to be able to add a pause. Do I want to do that next? Let me think. I mean, it would be fun to add more cards and stuff too, but I think I should start probably getting the actual gameplay loop like figured out here. There's so many things I can do right now. Getting the gameplay loop figured out would be pretty big, but I don't know how effective that's going to be if I don't have enough cards in play yet. I still have to do a bunch of work on the visual effects to add some screen shake and whatnot. I'm curious. Okay. There's one tangent that I want to do that's not super important, but I still want to do it. And that is, let's have it do this. When a card is hovered, apply a skew to the root node such that it produces a pseudo 3D card hover effect. Huge Loop Hero vibes. That's the second time I've heard that. I don't know if that's good or not. I assume it's good because Loop Hero is a beautiful game. What is it trying to do? This looks wrong. Use the skew property that is available on Node 2D. I meant that comment the best way possible. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm very curious to see what this does. This is so nice. I'm just not doing any work. This is crazy. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. It's not skewing around the right point though, is it? Actually, let's apply the skew to the animation root instead. Maybe that will work. Cursor is nice just for that tab completion alone. Skew. It even did a frame rate independent lerp here. That's crazy. All right. So now it should be skewing around the center. It's a very subtle effect, but I think it works. That's very basic, but it gives some feedback to the player. Let's do this. Let's see what happens if I say also apply a slight rotation necessary. I wonder if it would wonder if that would make it look better. Sweet. This is cool. I'm having so much fun doing this. Okay, well, it's not perfect, but it gives me a little bit of feedback about what's going on here. Sweet. I think that's great. It's super slight. I don't know if you can even see it that well, but yeah. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Oh, goodness. All right, well. Wait, why are these still highlighted? Oh, no. Oh, no. I think there's a bug here. Let's see. Okay. So when the card, let me think. I think what's happening is that it's being set to is dragging, which means that, okay. So let's have it fix that too. In here, if the card begins to drag, the mouse exited signal is never emitted. Ideally, when dragging begins, then that should emit the mouse exit signal. Is this your artwork or placeholder? This is my artwork, yeah. I used a color palette that I found on low spec, but I drew the art all myself using that color palette. I'm gonna take that as a compliment too, because you think it's too good to be true. Thank you. I really do like this color palette though, it's very nice. Oh, now there's a problem where... Okay, I can fix that later. All these things are super minor. Also, it's still not working. Why aren't you working? Why do these get stuck? I gotta figure out why those get stuck. It's gonna bother me. Why in the world is not working? Sometimes the hover state gets stuck. Let's see how well it does at debugging. Might get stuck after dragging because we're not properly resetting the hover effects when dragging ends. I don't think that's right. No, reject. Let's reword this. Okay, that makes more sense. So, and drag, so it's going to do all this stuff again. Okay. Is there a way to simplify this? Get it to get rid of that duplicate code for me. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Update mouse hover state. Perfect. Perfect. I don't even know if that's going to fix the issue because I never really fully understood why the state was getting stuck, but the logic behind the AI sounded good, so. Oh, goodness. Okay. It's still getting stuck. You didn't fix it. Why is that happening? That's so stupid. That literally should not be happening. Like, what is going on here? Let's see. Maybe it's in the board inventory component is the problem. Handle card mouse exited, affected cards. Well, it should be emitting that mouse exited when the dragging starts here. If is mouse over, emit signal card mouse exited, and drag, reset position. So this should be off. Why is that happening? Hello, Rin. Welcome back. Good to see you. Why is that happening? End drag, reset position. Wait, what does reset position do? This is never being called, is it? Oh, this is being called publicly, I think, somewhere else. This is my code. This is not the AI's code. Yeah, it's being called there. Okay. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Why in the world is this getting stuck? Is it not properly clearing? Card stats and highlighted cards. Try get value card stats. Highlight ref count. I mean, if the card mouse entered is being emitted more than once, that could be the problem. I think there's probably something wrong in here. What I would do is I would do this. I would say, I would just assign is mouse over is equal to is point in card. And then I would do var was mouse over equals is mouse over. And then I would update these things. So if is mouse over and not was mouse over. I'm not sure that that's going to be, I'm not sure if that's going to fix things, but that makes more sense to me. So we're always updating the is mouse over state. instead of setting it conditionally. So we're always updating it based on whether the mouse is inside the card, and then we're storing the previous state in order to determine if the state has changed so we can emit the signals. That just makes more sense to me, because the is mouse over state is always going to be related to the mouse position. Maybe that would fix it. I don't know. I don't know. Nope, it didn't fix it. Oh, I don't want to get stuck on this bug. Help me, AI. Help me. Okay, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break. I need to get a refill on my drink and all that good stuff. But when I come back, we will quash this bug. We will quash it. So, in the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. I've got Gunforge available for sale. Also, I have my Udemy courses. So check all those things out. Again, those are linked below. I'll be right back in 2 minutes, and we will quash this bug. All right, I'm back. Sorry for the wait. Hello, Damien. Welcome back. Great to see you. Good afternoon to you as well. All right, I have some ideas for what I can tell the AI to do for me to fix this bug. One thing that I want to do is I want to there is still a bug here where, let me see if I can figure out the exact reproduction steps. If I drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop. Yeah, so if I drag and drop a card, to a different location, to the same or a different grid location, board grid location, the highlight state of affected cards gets stuck and the cards remain highlighted even after the mouse leaves. When a card is dragged and dropped, card in the board inventory. The problem is in the interaction between the card and board inventory. Is that true? I don't think so. I don't think that's right. Oh, maybe it is. No, that's not right. Oh. No, that shouldn't be the case. What are you doing? Now let's update the board inventory card placement. What are you doing? Okay. Added a public is mouse over property to expose a mouse over state. Created a forced mouse exit. Updated begin drag to use this new method. Completely rewrote end drag to track if the card was actually dragging. Force a mouse exit to clear any highlights. Use call deferred to update the mouse state after one frame, ensuring all signals are processed first. Updated try place card at position to unregister any existing signals from the card. Unregister card signals. I'm not sure if that's going to work. Register card signals is only called... Oh, wait. Oh. Oh, it is. Okay, so it does need to unregister the card signals, but I don't know if that's the proper way of doing it. Is that the proper way of doing it? I don't know how callables are checked for equality. So that's an interesting thing. Anyway, unregister card signals. What is this? Force clear any highlights from this card before placing it. I don't think that this is necessary because the mouse exit should force that. I don't think that's necessary. Why does it have a public void? Oh wait, force mouse exit? No, I don't think that this section is necessary. I don't think the adjustment made to is necessary because this is being handled by mouse exit. Stop trying to be fancy with it. There we go. Okay, that'll work. And then this, I don't know if that unregistered card signals is going to work. Let me expand. Let's see. Force mouse exit. I don't know what this is doing. I don't think this deferred call is necessary either. Have you seen the Godot Tours plugin? If you didn't know, the guy who wrote 99% of the Godot documentation made a plugin called Tours where it lets you build courses that run inside the editor. Oh, interesting. It highlights buttons and checks code and stuff. It's very fancy. I think you could benefit from it. The maker of the plugin wants others to use it too. Yeah, I think the biggest problem would be that monetizing that, you know? Because the nice thing about Udemy is that it already has a platform with a bunch of students, right? So that's the thing. Okay. I don't know if this... I think the card signal unregistering is the problem, the main problem. So let's see if it works. Which LLM is this using? Sorry if this is a question you've already answered. This is Claude 3.7 Sonnet. It's still not working. Oh my gosh. Why didn't you fix the bug? All right. Am I going to have to like figure out why this is happening myself? I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay. When I start dragging it, begin drag, it's forcing a mouse exit. Is dragging is true, which in the process method, it's not going to update the mouse over state if it's dragging. So that's fine. Force mouse exit. I don't think that this needs to be there. Is dragging equals false, reset position, update mouse overstate. So when I begin the drag, it's forcing the mouse exit. It's what Nathan from GD Quest uses to sell his $100 course. He just sends you the tours content when you pay. Yeah, but I'd have to... The problem is I'd have to contact my own audience instead of having access to all the Udemy audience, you know what I mean? So the issue is that I can drag it here. That works just fine. When I pick it up, it forces a mouse exit. And then I release it. And it's not working. Let's see. Yeah, so there's something about inside. I think it's right to identify something in here. Try place card at position. I'm gonna move this away. Oh, wait, this should go here. Actually, this will be a good test. Unregister the signals immediately after registering them. See if that actually works or not, because I'm thinking it may not work. Yeah, it doesn't work. So this kind of method of unregistering doesn't work. I'm almost positive that this is the issue. So I think that that might be the culprit, but it's not working because it's creating new callable references here. So I don't think that this disconnect is actually working. Yeah, so we got the mouse. Now we have a dictionary that keeps track of the mouse entered callables and the mouse exited callables. And that's mapped. Okay. If mouse... Also clean up any highlights this card may have caused. Okay, well, we'll take that, but I want to see if I can get away without that section. So unregistered card signals, cool. So maybe this will work. I think the AI is trying to do too much. Hello, Splat. Welcome back. Good to see you. Okay, so it was the signal unregistering and registering. It's just that those callables references needed to be stored. Okay, so that's fixed now. So whatever the AI was trying to do with this, yeah. So this is something I was saying yesterday too. Is like the AI is really good at doing like the mundane stuff and debugging the code base, but you still need to know what you're doing as an engineer because otherwise the AI is going to sneak in a bunch of stuff that just is not necessary. And I do think that I do still have a concern that if people rely on this too much, the code base is going to become so unwieldy and unmaintainable that a human wouldn't be able to understand it even if they tried, right? So I do think it's important to still have some programming knowledge because I basically need to just go in here and make sure that it's doing something sensible. So yeah, but anyway. It's definitely saving me a lot of time, that's for sure. I wish it would stop putting comments in place, though. That would be very nice, thank you. I don't need you to put a comment above forced mouse exit that says, forces a mouse exit. I don't need that. It's right in the name. AI. Okay. So, fix... All right, let's see if we can get it to, to write a new ability. I think that's going to be fun. So, I want to do a couple of things. I want to add a shield status, which can intercept damage. Which means that I want to create a new item that can create a shield for you. I think that would be good. So we'll add a shield status, a shield item. Let me think. I'm just trying to think thematically what would be a good... good thing to do. Here's what I'll do. Let's create a new, let's go into Asebrite here. This explains why Gunforge has 40 reviews and Guncraft Survivors has 1040 reviews. What is? Did they use the AI tools for 1040? I don't understand the reference. Degenerated. Oh, you're using AI now. That's cool. Yes, indeed. It's very cool. Hello, Vishal. Welcome back. Great to see you. So we'll do 86. Let me just make sure. Assets, card, background. Oh, I don't have a 2x2. Okay. Let's open this. Save this as 2x2.png. And we need to get rid of this stuff. Okay, so there's our 2x2 card. So we'll save that. Let's create a new... What is, hold on a second. I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to create something called like an embalming fluid, which can provide a shield. Let's see. Did I spell embalming right? I did. Organ jar. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let me think. I definitely want to make that one of the items. But I was actually thinking about making this a jar too. Load default palette. Yeah, I was thinking about making this one a jar too, just like... let's see. Do this. I need to put that on. Oops. Dang it. I needed to create this on a... I should have created this on a different layer. Ugh. Come on. Thank you. Lock that one. I actually don't know exactly how this is going to look, but let's see.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
This is not working exactly the way I want it to be. That's looking pretty good, actually. I just need to probably, yeah, shrink that up a bit. And then maybe... just thicken it up a bit, you know? It still looks a little bit too wide. There we go. That looks a little bit more presentable. Okay. All right. We're getting there. I almost wonder if I should do that. Ooh, yeah, that looks better. Okay. That might be too dark, but we'll see. We'll see. We don't need this anymore. This highlight here. Or the symmetry, I mean. Do this. Do that. I don't know. Something like that, I suppose. It's looking all right. It's looking all right. No, I don't like that. That looks kind of cool. Okay, and then for the sides here, try to give the impression of glass if possible. And then in here, this is going to be a little bit trickier, I think. But let's see if I can make it happen. Yeah, it's going to be tricky because I don't really have a color that I can use very well in there. In the middle. But I may be able to just do, see, I wonder if I could just do like little specks in there. I don't think that's going to work. I do not think that's going to work. But what I could do maybe is add like a little thing like that to indicate that it's a jar. Maybe I could use this orange here. I don't have any way of like making the fluid look like fluid, you know? That's kind of the problem that I'm running into. What happens if I thicken this up? That a little bit higher. Your top recommendation for some books to read, specifically game dev? I have none. I don't read. I don't read enough, nearly enough, especially not game dev or programming related concepts. I will say the one book that I did read regarding programming is Clean Code, which a lot of people regard as like sort of out of date now, but that definitely made a huge impact on how I thought about programming and software engineering and all that stuff. So that would be, if I were to recommend a book, that would be the book, but it's not a game dev specific book. But yeah, that's basically the only thing. It's basically the only thing. Hello. Is it a glass jar? It's supposed to be a glass jar, yeah. Lower the level of the fluid so you can see the top. I mean, I don't know if I can put that much detail in it. That's the thing. Jar. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oops. Witch hat jar. Witch hat jar. Ooh. That's a very interesting name. I know that you're saying that because it looks like a witch hat, but still an interesting name. I don't have enough. I don't have enough colors. I don't know. I guess that kind of looks better. I mean, it's like you can see the top of the liquid just about. Although I think I liked this better. That looks pretty good. Good suggestion. So yeah. I think that gets the point across. It's not perfect, but you know what I might do though is I might darken these corners a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. I also am not in love with that dark purple there. I may just go straight solid purple right there. And actually, I may be able to do like this. Oh yeah, I like that better. That combination of colors. Sweet. Okay. Anyway, that is our embalming fluid. Now I probably should... I don't think I've actually been filling these in, but maybe I should. Anyway. Maybe I haven't been doing that. I actually don't think I've been doing that. Okay, there's our embalming fluid. So let's go here now. Let's go into card, create new resource, card definition resource, embalming fluid. This is super easy now. Display name, embalming fluid. It is a 2x2. It does not exclude any cells. The art, embalming fluid. We're going to make this alchemical. Maybe it should be ritual too. Alchemical and ritual. Like a ritual burial, you know what I mean? And then I need to create a script for that. This is where we're going to get our AI involved. Create a new card script extending base card called embalming fluid. So now we're going to have it write the gameplay code for me. Oh, it just wrote a resurrect ability? No, don't. It's just going to create a custom ability. Let's see where it goes, I guess. Let's see where it goes. Preserve magnitude. Let's see what it does. It's literally creating the status that I was going to have it create. Oh my gosh. It's still going. Okay, I'm gonna actually tell it to reject everything. We're gonna do this. Only minimally implement the class. Do not add any abilities. So it's actually looking at the other. Sweet. Okay. Let's just review the changes there. Cool. Okay, so it's implemented an embalming fluid. Excellent. Okay. Okay. Now create a new ability called, I liked the name Preserve a lot, but we're going to call it Shield in the code because that makes more sense. Minimally implement the ability. Do not add any functionality yet. Good morning, Breckheck. Did I already say good morning to you? Anyway, this is cool. What agent and LLM are you using? So I'm using agent mode in Cursor, the Cursor IDE with Claude 3.7 Sonnet. And this is great. Okay, so this is already implemented Shield with I ability magnitude. Sweet. Okay. So it's already added the description and everything. Protects from damage. Cool. We're going to call this, we're going to accept this. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to call this Preserve though, because I really liked that. I'm just going to borrow that straight from the AI. And this magnitude equals amount. Yep, that's fine. Okay. Cool. All right, so make embalming fluid. Make embalming fluid. Let's give it a specific instruction. Make embalming fluid. Provide 1 shield per card tagged with ritual on the board. Let's see what it does. This is super cool. Creates a shield ability. Oh, I think I gave it the wrong. Set tag filters. Hold on a second, I'm getting confused here. Let's shield set tag filters. Oh, I think this is a kind of a new thing that I'm doing here. Turn consumer is not correct. Okay, let me undo this. Okay, so set tag filters. That's okay. So this abilities that add shield is what I need to keep here. Now the embalming fluid needs to be able to configure shield such that its magnitude is equal to the number of cards tagged with ritual. Should be fully configurable so it can be used in different contexts with different configurations, while the embalming fluid provides the specific configuration to target all items to add shield equal to the number of cards tagged with ritual. So I'm giving it a little bit more direction here. So basically the shield, the abilities, all of the abilities need to be fully configurable so that they can be used in different contexts. I don't want the shield to necessarily work the same in every card. It's the embalming fluid that makes it so that the shield value will equal the number of ritual cards on the board. But the thing is, I don't think I have a framework to support that yet. So we're going to need to figure out how to implement that. Hello, Dione. And by we, I mean the AI. So what did it do here? Accept file. I think that should work. Implement iBoard queryable in Shield. So what is it doing here? So it's got a tag to scale on. I don't like that. I don't like that. Query board if scale with tag count. Okay, I guess that makes sense. This scale tag. What is this? Filter tags. Where is this being used? Get formatted affected tags. Yeah, so don't use, so in here, don't use, maybe I messed this up. This filter tags, this should be called, yeah, I think I should call this affected tags. Do I want to keep that scale with tag count? I don't know if I want to do that. Because this is going to become rather bloated if I have other methods for the shield to increase. So what I want to do probably is, I think I want to create an eye composable ability, honestly. Okay, that's what I'm going to direct the AI to do next. So I have a turn consumer here. A turn consumer is an eye composable ability. So a turn consumer doesn't do anything by itself. What a turn consumer does is it consumes all the turns and then it executes its sub abilities. It sets the magnitude of its sub abilities based on how many turns it consumed. Now this is going to have to be the same. So what I'm going to do is actually create a new ability that's like a scalable ability or something like that, maybe, where it will do the same thing. It will have sub abilities. It will implement this eye composite ability here, and then shield will be very bare bones. So I like what this is doing so far. What I don't like is setting the scaling behavior inside of the shield itself. The shield should ideally just be a wrapper around a value that can execute its ability in a very predictable way. And then any way that it needs to be controlled, it needs to be wrapped in a sort of composite ability class. I think that's the way to do it. So it's kind of like you can see the hierarchy, like a shield just provides a value. When you execute the shield, it gives you a shield equal to the value. If you need to change that value in any way, then what you need to do is you need to wrap it in something else, wrap it in something that's driving it, and that would be the composite ability. So for the embalming fluid, I'm going to create a composite ability that has behavior that counts up the number of ritual items on the board, or however many I need to count up, and then adjusts the shield scale in accordance with that count. And that gives me the ability to create a brand new card that just has a flat shield ability, right? I can just say this provides 10 shield per turn. Done, right? It doesn't have any additional behavior. It just applies 10 shield every time it ticks, right? And then anything that needs to apply a scale needs to be wrapped. So I think that this is great so far. What I think I want to do is let's stage these things. Okay. We want the shield to be we want shield to be a bare bones ability. Let's follow the example of turn consumer and create a new ability class called scalable ability. That implements eye composite ability and eye composite ability. Then in embalming fluid, create this scalable ability and add shield as a sub ability. Do just this for now. We'll focus on the exact scaling mechanism after. All right. This is wonderful. Let's see what it does here. Okay, so let's accept all. I'm gonna get rid of this. So let's see. So in Shield, this is working great. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so this looks fine. The shield looks fine. Scalable ability. Card tag to scale with. Let's not use, so in scalable ability, let's not use a scale tag value. Let's use the base card ability affected tags property. That makes much more sense. What IDE? It's Cursor IDE. Welcome, Pedro, by the way. Good to see you. I think constructor in scalable ability is useless since we can set affected tags outside. Query with all tags though. Inside of embalming fluid. Remove the useless constructor and update embalming fluid such that it sets the proper affected tags and query options for the scalable ability instance. These streams are really insightful for beginners. Thanks for that. You're welcome. Yeah. I'm happy. Hopefully this new stuff is insightful too, this AI stuff. Okay, so let's see what it did here. We don't want this in the shield, so that's fine. Shield equals new shield 1, scalable ability, set affected tags, add ability, query options, okay. So it's setting it to ritual, set query options, query with all tags, card tag ritual, yes. Scalable ability, add ability, shield, okay. So I think that's fine. Let's see. What do we got in the scalable ability now? So shield is very bare bones now. Scalable ability. Scale factor is tagged cards.length. That actually works right. Actually, I think this should work. Get magnitude description, ability magnitude, get magnitude per. Get magnitude. I think I need to do something fancy with the scalable ability in here. It's executing, oh no, is it executing? Get abilities to execute, add ability, internal get description, scales with. Okay, so the problem in here, I mean, this should work at a basic level. The problem in here is I don't have a way of specifying like a base magnitude. But let's just see if this works. So if I go to my run manager, the code looks all right to me. So instead of doing an alembic, let's do the embalming fluid. And let's see what happens. On your channel today, wish you good luck in your journey to become a full-time indie developer. You surely love it a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that, Luan. All right, let's take a look. Scales with ritual cards. Provides 1 shield per ritual card. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Now the question is this working? I actually don't have a way of... Oh, this should... I should probably edit this. So the wording is just a little bit wrong. The base string... I don't want scales with. I'm just going to do string.empty. And what else? Get description, shield. Where's shield? Provides. Yeah, so let's do it here. In this method, change the description to say preserve instead of shield, and also make it indicate that it's adding some amount of stacks of preserve, since preserve will later be a stackable status effect. Make sure to handle the plural case, smiley face. I think this is where like the AI really shines, is like when you need to generate English or human readable descriptions from like a bunch of code. Except this has saved me so much time. This is unreal. And you can just iterate with it. Like you just get it to do the basic things that you would do. Adds 1 stack of preserve per ritual card. And then you have the description, protects from damage. It's all right there. All of that was done in just like, what was that? Like 30 minutes? I added a new card, a new ability, a new eye composite ability, which is a scalable ability. I did, most of the time was spent on the art. Everything else was implemented. So this is an alchemical ritual item that adds 1 stack of preserve per ritual card. And then if I do this, I think this is a ritual item. Look at that. I hover over it and it says, oh, look, you got an item there, a ritual item. That's it. That's it. By the way, as an artist with very limited coding experience, should I try to learn Godot or should I stick to engines like GameMaker, GDevelop, and Construct? I would like to focus on making RPGs. Well, you are going to have more freedom in the kinds of games that you can make if you learn programming. It's just, there's no way around that. So I'm not going to say you should learn Godot or should stick to any engine in particular, but I think if you're feeling the limitations that come with things like GameMaker and GDevelop, then that would be the point at which I would consider making a real effort to learn programming. That said, there are all kinds of devs who are primarily artists who are making great games in those engines, and they're getting by with the limitations. And so that would be my advice to you, is that if you're feeling restricted, then learn it. And if not, then just keep doing whatever you're productive with. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it is. So I'm actually going to, let's see. Yeah, so this is just like, obviously I don't have the shield status effect yet, but that's what I'm going to direct the AI to do later. And also, I don't like necessarily how this scalable ability works, because it assumes that you want to scale it by 1. And it's also setting the magnitude every time, which is going to be a problem, because as the magnitude increases... Yeah, so I need a way of basically setting a base magnitude per ability. I wonder if I should just add to the eye ability magnitude. I wonder if I should add a base magnitude. So I have a current magnitude, which is its current value, but then a base, which is like the value that it can be scaled off of. I need to think about that some more, but I'm going to add a to-do here. This scaling is not working as expected. Okay, began work on embalming fluid. I'm missing a UID. I don't think that scalable ability had a UID generated for it. I'll commit that anyway. This is absolutely unreal. This is saving me such an amazing amount of... There's my embalming fluid stuff I was looking up. Saving me an amazing amount of time. This is unreal. Absolutely unreal. Okay. Anyway, it is time for me to eat lunch, so I'm going to end this stream there. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for being here and chatting. It was great to have you. Again, you can check out Gunforged. That is linked in the description below. I also have my Udemy courses available for sale. If you're interested in those, you can check those out. And yeah, thanks again, everyone. It was great chatting with you all. I hope you all have a good day. And thanks to the lurkers and VOD watchers out there. I very much appreciate you. All right. Have a good day, everyone. I will see you back here tomorrow. Yeah, at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading your comment, Luan. Want to make a long-term investment in learning game dev, Godot, and learning code provide more potential. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.